Do you think you're being Kavanaugh'd right now?
I had a member not 45 minutes ago look me in the eye in private, just he and I, and say, that's what they're trying to do to you. That's what they're trying to do to you. That's their playbook. Get ready for more. And they're going to make it up, just like they have so far. All anonymous, all innuendo, all rumor, nothing sourced, no verification, and they're just going to keep doing it because you're a threat to them. You're a threat to their system. You're a threat to all the things in Washington, D.C., the swamp, the things that people have rejected. You're a threat to that. And so they're coming after you. And I know that. He knows that. And when you stand firm on that, it's not difficult to just continue to fight. So, yeah, we saw what happened, but guess what happened? Kavanaugh stood up, and he fought, and he won. And hopefully Republicans have learned that lesson.
And Trump stood by him.
And Trump stood by him.
So I'm reading Politico Playbook, which I do all the time, by the way, over the weekend and all these times, because I like to see, what the adversaries are talking about. And I go through here and it says I think this was yesterday's. Now, a new pressure campaign aims to keep it that way. Mike Davis, the former top Senate GOP aide, who is perhaps Trump's fiercest legal defender, is something of an outsider, and he's mobilizing the Article 3 project to become the tip of the spear in building pressure from the base on Republican senators. It goes through, talks about you hiring private investigators to sift through the backgrounds of the Senate GOP holdouts, and I believe the overall headline of the email was "The Right Dons Brass Knuckles for the Pete Hegseth Brawl." Davis, are we putting the brass knuckles on, man?
I think we are, Jack. I mean, I go on your
Let's
show.
Let's go.
I go on Bannon's show. What we do is we have your listeners and viewers, the War Room Posse. We go to article3project.org, article number 3project.org, and Jack has it up on the screen right now. He's always 2 steps ahead of me. You take action, and what this does is it will help you light up your home state senators. It will actually do automatic patch-through calls to both of your home state senators, and you tell them to support Pete Hegseth, like we did with Kash Patel. Remember, Jack, when Kash Patel's nomination was announced by President Trump, everyone said that Kash was dead on arrival. Well, 2 people who didn't were you and I, and we engaged, we got people to light up the Senate, and he went from dead on arrival, and then 4 days later, it became, when does Kash start? We're going to do the same thing with Pete Hegseth, and I'll tell you why. The president of the United States gets to pick his cabinet. Trump won in a landslide. He has a mandate for change in Washington. He won 312 electoral votes. He won the popular vote. He won all 7 swing states, and he gets to pick his cabinet. And the Senate, particularly Senate Republicans, must vote to confirm all of Trump's qualified cabinet picks. Pete Hegseth is clearly qualified. He is a warfighter. He is a reformer. He's someone who President Trump trusts. And Trump does not pick senator staffs, and they shouldn't pick his so long as they're qualified. Now, if they're going to say that Pete Hegseth is somehow disqualified because of his personal misconduct, the opponents of his nomination need to come forward and testify publicly with clear and convincing evidence that a qualified cabinet pick is disqualified. And if they don't do that, they need to put up or shut up. We went through this Me Too presumption of guilt with Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation. And I think my biggest contribution to America was saying, hell no, we are not going to have this Me Too presumption of guilt. We're going to have the American presumption of innocence. President Trump gets his cabinet he wants unless they're disqualified. And if someone's going to say that Pete was a womanizer or he drank too much in his past and therefore he's not qualified to take public office, I think then there are a lot of senators who would be disqualified under that standard. So if they want to be hypocrites, we'll call them out on their hypocrisy. And, well, not only will we call them out, we'll put people to primary, put people up to primary them.
Well, I noticed that, you mentioned people up to primary. You yourself, by the way, hail from the great state of Iowa, and Joni Ernst, the senator over there. Now, I'm going to give her a little credit. I will give her a little credit because she was posting up on her Twitter earlier today that she had a great meeting with Tulsi Gabbard and a great meeting with Kash Patel. And I think, you know something, Senator Ernst, that's wonderful. That's the type of behavior that we love to see. And I believe she's going to be having another meeting with Pete Hegseth here in a couple of days. Is that what you're hearing as well on the Joni Ernst front, Mike?
Look, I know Joni Ernst and I like her. She's my home state senator. Sometimes she gets bad advice from people. You know, when these senators go to Washington, when they surround themselves with Trump deranged DC insiders, sometimes they offer bad advice to these senators. And so, number one, I would recommend these senators actually hire people who are in touch with their constituents back home. And then number two, I would say this about Joni. She is going to do her job and fully vet these nominees. And at the end of the day, after she does her homework, I think she will vote to confirm Pete Hegseth. And that is the right thing to do. Again, we don't have a Me Too presumption of guilt. There are a lot of holes in this story that I've heard from this accuser. These allegations are very serious. If a cabinet pick actually raped a woman, he should not get confirmed to anything. But I don't think that's what happened here. I think the police investigated these allegations and declined to bring charges. So that raises a big red flag. If you can't even get California law enforcement to take this allegation seriously, maybe it's not serious.